top story right now on ABC News Live. Law enforcement officials testifying in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. A police officer who responded to an alleged break-in at rapper Kid Cudi's home testified that he saw a black Cadillac Escalade leaving the scene that was registered to Combs' company, Bad Boy Productions. Jurors also hearing testimony from an arson investigator about what he called a makeshift firebomb used to set Cudi's Porsche on fire. And later today, another former Combs employee is expected to testify under the pseudonym Mia. Mia alleges that Sean Combs used physical force, psychological manipulation, and threatened her reputation to get her to engage in sex acts with him. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his defense team says that any sexual encounters were all consensual. ABC's Rena Roy and legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer are outside the courthouse right now. And Rena, can you get us caught up? What's the latest from the court right now?
Well, Alex, that fire department investigator that you mentioned, he is on the stand right now. He's the one that responded to that car fire you mentioned at Kid Cudi's Los Angeles home when he says his Porsche was set on fire. And he said it did not take him long to determine that the fire was caused by a Molotov cocktail. He said somebody had lit it, cut the roof, and dropped it into the front seat. And he said, in his opinion, it was targeted. He walked the jury through those photos that you see there on your screen of the smoke and fire damage. And they also saw a burned handkerchief, a lighter, and a liquor bottle that was used to make the Molotov cocktail. Now, Kid Cudi testified last week and told jurors that he believed that Sean Combs was responsible for this incident. That was in 2011 after Combs had found out that Kid Cudi was dating Cassie Ventura. And now right before this fire investigator, the jury also heard from a Los Angeles police officer who responded to Kid Cudi's home after the rapper reported a break-in at his house. And he testified that he saw a black Escalade leaving the scene there and that when he ran the license plate, it was registered to Sean Combs' company, Bad Boy Productions. Alex?
Well, and Brian, why is a testimony from law enforcement officials important to this case?
Yeah, so for the government here, it's all about corroboration. We've already had Kid Cudi as well as Capricorn Clark testify about this event. And now you have law enforcement saying they were there as well. They saw some of the important aspects that was testified on direct examination by both those witnesses, that being the Escalade, that being them driving away, the evidence of the arson as well. But the defense is also using these witnesses in their own right as well, because we heard different versions of what happened on that event from Capricorn Clark, Kid Cudi, and now this officer, the officer saying he didn't see a car chase. He didn't see the Escalade driving next to the Porsche or the Porsche pulling up to the Escalade as Capricorn Clark had testified. And so through the admission of some of these issues, they're trying to impeach other witnesses and raise reasonable doubt. And from the arsonist I just stepped out a few moments ago, we began to hear information about fingerprint analysis, a fingerprint analysis card that was connected to the home of a previous incident, possibly the burglary. That card was destroyed, and also some DNA, the DNA of a female being found as well. It's going to be interesting to see how the defense plays into that as cross-examination is set to begin soon.
Well, and Rena, what do we know about other witnesses that we're expecting to hear from? That one witness, Mia, the pseudonym Mia, that's expected to testify possibly later today?
Right. So Mia, under that pseudonym, she is a former assistant of Sean Diddy Combs, and she's expected to talk about what it was like to work for him. And in their opening statements, the prosecution said that she was an employee who was worked to the bone, and she is expected to tell the jury that Combs used physical force, psychological manipulation, and threats to get her to engage in sex acts with him. So she could take the stand as early as today. We are also expected to hear from a stylist named Deontay Nash that apparently said that Ventura told him that Combs was making her participate in a freak-off on her 29th birthday.
Brian, I'm curious. I mean, what could this testimony do for proving the validity of the sex trafficking and racketeering charges?
So when it comes to the racketeering charges, we're talking about a criminal enterprise. And more of the allegations go into witnesses testifying that there was this inner circle, as the government described in their opening statement, that supported and facilitated the actions, the specifically criminal actions of Sean Combs when it came to kidnapping, arson, sexual assault, abuse, all the allegations the government are levying against Sean Combs. And then, of course, with Mia being yet another of the alleged victims in this case, there are also allegations of sexual assault as it applies to her and forced labor. So I would think that these allegations we're seeing today with these witnesses and also leading into Mia and probably even tomorrow, we're going to be focusing mainly on that criminal enterprise and those underlying charges.
All right, Rena Roy and Brian Buckmeyer, thank you.